My name is Sarah Powell, and I'm the proprietress of Liliths Apothecary here in Philadelphia. I'm here today to show you how to make a salt scrub or body polish. And bear in mind that I'm going to be using finely ground Dead Sea salts today, but you can certainly use various forms of sugar as well, because the point of using salts or sugars in this scrub is to provide some exfoliation in your bathing rituals. Basically, a salt scrub is a combination of salts or sugars and various kinds of oils that can do different things for your skin. We're going to be using sunflower oil today. For this particular scrub, sunflower oil is non-clogging. It's a wonderful body oil because it's one of the most non-clogging oils you can use. It's also relatively inexpensive, and it's a beautiful all-around oil to use. Some other possibilities are meadow foam seed, which is very moisturizing. Fractionated coconut is a great oil, and believe it or not, despite the fact that it's coconut oil, has a lot of anti-acne properties to it, so that's a great choice. Jojoba oil is very popular. It's a bit more expensive, but it's actually a wax ester, which means that it's not a true oil, and it's very, very close to your skin's natural sebum, which is great for moisturizing. It's probably the top choice for massage therapists. Use jojoba. So our basic ingredients are Dead Sea salts. Again, you can use sugar. We have natural vitamin E here, which is, of course, there's great properties with vitamin E in terms of being beneficial for your skin and helping with scar tissue and things like that. But vitamin E is an antioxidant, and it helps the oils preserve freshness. It keeps them from becoming rancid, and it's a great choice to use in any anhydrous product, meaning a product that contains no water. I'm choosing two different essential oils today, ginger and mandarin, red mandarin. You can use any combination of essential oils. I really do recommend that you use a little bowl to mix them up first. Decide what you want to use. I've already put mandarin in there, and I'm going to add some ginger. And this way you know that you really like the scent you're going to use, because you wouldn't want to waste a whole batch simply because you used a combination that you ended up really not liking. About 20 drops for an 8-ounce container this size would be great. You don't even need to use that many. Essential oils are very, very powerful. And you might find that just using 5 or 10 drops of something like eucalyptus or something pretty strong smelling like patchouli would be perfectly fine. Something more subtle like lavender, which is a very, very safe essential oil, you could certainly use a few drops more. So the very first step we have is just really taking the container you're going to use, because I find that unless you are making vast quantities and you really know exactly how much you're going to use, you just want to take a somewhat small amount and just spoon it right into the jar. This is really the easiest way to do this. Just do it jar by jar. Certainly if you plan to make a lot for some relatives, you can do this with a number of jars. This way you know exactly how many jars you're getting. Or you can take a jar like this to scoop out. If you have a big bag of salts or sugar, you can scoop out the amount you need, set up the number of jars you need, and just kind of proceed that way. I like to add the essential oils next. So there I'm adding 20 drops, 15 of mandarin, 5 of ginger. And then I'm going to take this sunflower seed oil. Oh, actually I want to add the vitamin E first. I'm going to take a different dropper, and I like to buy glass droppers that I can reuse, but you can buy plastic pipettes as well. And I'll use about 20 drops of the vitamin E. Okay. Then I pour in the oil. I kind of do it in 2 batches. We've got 1 pour. I like to take a chopstick, or you can use some other utensil. You want to make sure it's very clean. I like to use, wooden chopsticks, take them out of the package, use them for something like this. Make sure they're really dry before you use it. You don't want to use anything that's got water on it in a scrub like this. So you're trying to really incorporate those oils with the salts. And you also, you know, the first pour, you want to make sure that the oil gets to the far reaches of those salts or sugars in there. So at this stage, this is kind of what we're looking like. Then I do a second pour, and this is really where I stop. You're just pouring it up. It's going to soak in a little bit more, but you've already kind of tried to incorporate things. I like to have the oil maybe 1/4 of an inch above the salt, because sometimes if you don't have enough oil in there, you might run out of the oil. Or vice versa, at some point if you're using this at home, you might want to top it off with a little bit more oil or add more salts later on until you use up the whole scrub. And then you're just going to cap it. The most difficult thing about scrubs, I guess, is just making sure that they're as leak-proof as possible. So if you have, you know, different kinds of twists on caps, that just make sure it's really solid, because if you're giving it as a gift, you just don't want those oils leaking out. But again, these are wonderful to use at the end of the shower. You can turn off the water, try not to introduce any water into the scrub as much as possible. Use them as a fabulous exfoliating body polish and let those oils just soak right in. You often find you don't need a moisturizer after using a body polish. And just lightly rinse off and pat yourself dry with a towel after using. If it's a fragrance you really enjoy, you won't need to use anything else, and you'll really be surrounded by those lovely natural essential oils. But thank you so much. I'm so glad you came to my wee apothecary.